Welcome to the archive. In the grand ledger of a nation, most entries are written in the cold ink of statistics. But today, the ink is still wet and the lines are blurred. A healer from the front lines of the hospital. A poet lost in the shadows of a federal operation. In the city of Minneapolis, the story of Nicole Good and Alex Pretti has become a modern American tragedy, a chapter of questions that the official record cannot yet answer. Today, we step beyond the headlines to read the story between the lines. This is the truth, as told through the Gilded Ledger.
Through the blurred lens. In the city of lakes, where the winters are long and the words are heavy, Renee lived in the rhythm of stanzas. She was a mother of three, a weaver of verses, and a soul who believed that witnessing was a form of prayer. To her, every person was a poem waiting to be read with kindness. When the world grew loud and the streets filled with the friction of change, Renee put on a bright vest. She became a legal observer. Her task was simple but sacred: to watch, to record, and to ensure that the light of the law reached into the darkest corners of the protest. Then came the flash, the sudden tear in the fabric of the afternoon. In a moment of chaotic noise and moving shadows, the observer was no longer an observer. The line between witness and victim vanished as the agents moved through the crowd like a storm. Linnea walked the streets after the silence returned, but it wasn't the silence of peace. It was the silence of an indrawn breath. The news called Renee a name she never would have recognized. Domestic terrorist, the broadcasts hissed, a label that felt like a shroud made of lies. Alex Pretti stood where the ground was still stained, his eyes searching for the truth beneath the political static. He was a man who lived in the details, trying to piece together a story that the administration wanted to keep fragmented and out of focus. Linnea found Alex near the makeshift memorial. They stood on opposite sides of a mental fence, struggling to find the words to bridge the gap between what they saw and what the world told them to see. The air was thick with the weight of things unsaid. Linnea pulled a small glass lens from her pocket, a gift Renee had once given her. She looked through it, watching how it distorted the sharp edges of the world into something softer, something more human. She wondered if empathy was simply the act of choosing a different lens. At home, the three children waited in a house that had become too large. Linnea sat with the eldest, trying to explain why the world sometimes breaks the very people who try to fix it. There were no words in the dictionary for this kind of hollow. Alex joined them later, bringing documents and a determination that burned like a low flame. Together, they looked at the photos and the reports, refusing to let Renee's name be swallowed by the machinery of the state. They were two people holding a candle against a hurricane. Justice is a long road, often unpaved and shrouded in mist. But as the sun set over Minneapolis, casting long amber shadows, Linnea realized that Renee's poetry hadn't ended. It lived on in the refusal to look away, and in the brave, quiet act of seeing one another.
If you want to see how the next chapter of the U.S. economy unfolds, make sure you've opened your place in the ledger by subscribing.